We've all heard about the 7 wonders of the modern world. But today, we're leaving the beaten path behind. Forget the Colosseum, Taj Mahal, and pyramids of Giza. Get ready to discover the other incredible man-made marvels that rarely make the list. Mont-Saint-Michel. Get ready to be utterly enchanted by Mont-Saint-Michel. This real-life castle in the clouds looks plucked straight from the pages of a storybook. Dating back to the 8th century, legend says the Archangel Michael himself instructed the building of an abbey atop this rocky tidal islet. Over centuries, an entire fortified village sprouted up around it, accessible only when the tide is out. The Abbey, this stunning Romanesque and Gothic masterpiece, is the piece de resistance. Climb the grand staircase for jaw-dropping views from the Abbey's towering heights. The village. Get lost wandering the charming medieval lanes lined with ramparts, museums, restaurants, and shops selling delectable local treats. Get ready to be utterly dazzled by one of the most mind-blowing buildings on planet Earth, the one and only Sydney Opera House. This architectural marvel looks like a giant glazed souffle that crash-landed right into Sydney Harbour. Bjorn Utzon, whose innovative vision gave Sydney one of the most photogenic buildings of the 20th century. Construction on this polarizing, unbaked pavlova of a building began in 1959 and was finally completed in 1973 at a massive cost overrun of 1,400% the original budget. Some fun fact about this beautiful wonder. The Opera House's roof is covered by over 1 million glazed white tiles imported from Sweden. Clearly, they were going for that freshly glazed Danish pastry look. Get ready to have your childhood storybook fantasies come to life at Neuschwanstein Castle. This real-life fairy tale wonder will make you question if you've somehow stumbled into a magical Disney film set. Perched dramatically atop a Bavarian mountain, with its whimsical towers and romantic architecture, Neuschwanstein looks plucked straight from the pages of a Brothers Grimm fairy tale. In fact, its eccentric creator had a bit of a fantasy obsession himself. This 19th-century palace was the brainchild of the reclusive King Ludwig II of Bavaria, who was so enamored with medieval legends that he drained the royal coffers building his dream castle. Dubbed the Mad King, Ludwig sadly passed away before Neuschwanstein's completion in 1886. The breathtaking interiors, from the iconic grotto waterfall to the extravagant Byzantine-style throne room, prepare to be swept away by Ludwig's wildly over-the-top vision. Did you know? The castle's design was so outrageously lavish that it's said to have inspired the Disney Castle logo and Sleeping Beauty's iconic palace. Fuel up on hearty Bavarian fare like roast pork knuckle, pretzels with Obatster cheese dip, and frothy wheat beers from local breweries. The Apfelstrudel is also a must-try. Get ready to have your mind blown by one of the most magnificent remnants of ancient civilization, the sprawling ruins of Angkor in northern Cambodia. This vast city was the capital of the powerful Khmer Empire from the 9th to 15th centuries. At its peak in the 12th century, Angkor was home to over 1 million people, making it the largest pre-industrial city in the world. Imagine Manhattan, but constructed with giant stone blocks and without modern machinery. The Khmer kings were obsessed with outdoing each other, building bigger and grander temples like Angkor Wat, the largest religious monument on the planet. No wonder construction took over 300,000 workers in 37 years. This jaw-dropping masterpiece is the undisputed crown jewel, with its mind-bending architecture covered in intricate carvings and bas-reliefs. Did you know? The entire Angkor complex spans over 400 square kilometers. That's bigger than the island of Bahrain. Pack your comfiest walking shoes. Top Rome. This ancient Buddhist monastery, being slowly strangled by massive tree trunks and gnarly roots, is straight out of an Indiana Jones movie set. Refuel with classic Khmer dishes like the national delicacy, a savory soup called samlar machu yuan loaded with pork, vegetables, and fragrant lemongrass. The fresh tropical fruits are also a must-try. Get ready to have your mind blown by one of the wackiest and most memorable pieces of architecture on planet Earth, Moscow's St. Basil's Cathedral. This kaleidoscope of colors and patterns looks like someone hopped up on vodka and went absolutely wild with a set of building blocks. But this whimsical wonder is very much real and has been dazzling visitors for nearly 500 years. St. Basil's origins date back to 1555, when the eccentric and hot-tempered Tsar Ivan the Terrible commissioned it to commemorate a military victory. Legend says he even had the architects blinded to prevent them from recreating such a masterpiece. The cathedral's interior, from the jewel-toned frescoes to the labyrinth of chambers and chapels, exploring St. Basil's kaleidoscopic insides is a trippy experience. With its 9 chapels and 9 domes, some believe the cathedral's design was inspired by the shape of the mythical cosmos tree representing the universe. No visit is complete without admiring St. Basil's dazzling domes set against the backdrop of the Kremlin's towering red walls. Fuel up with classic Russian fare like beef stroganoff, blini pancakes with all the toppings, and piping hot bowls of borscht. Get ready to be utterly baffled by one of the most mysterious remnants of the ancient world, the prehistoric marvel known as Stonehenge. This iconic ring of massive standing stones has been mind-boggling visitors for over 4,500 years. Located on the flatlands of Wiltshire, England, these gigantic boulders were carefully arranged in a circular pattern by ancient British people way back in the late Neolithic period. But why the heck did they build it? Well, that's one question that even modern experts are still scratching their heads over. While Stonehenge's purpose remains shrouded in mystery, we do know it was constructed in several phases over a period of 1,500 years, starting around 300 BC. The largest of the sandstone megaliths weighs an estimated 25 tons, making its transportation an incredible feat with just primitive tools and manpower. Walk among the ancient monoliths and ponder how and why this UNESCO World Heritage Site was built. Just don't try hauling them yourself. Some theories suggest Stonehenge was an ancient astronomical calendar or ceremonial burial ground, but the most likely explanation? A very robust and determined group of bodybuilders. Refuel with classic English pub grub like savory meat pies, beer-battered fish and chips, and indulgent Sunday roasts. The local Wiltshire truckle cheddar is also a must-try. Get ready to have your mind blown by one of the wildest, most unconventional churches on the entire planet, Barcelona's La Sagrada Familia. This bizarre yet breathtaking basilica looks like it was dreamed up by someone tripping on hallucinogenic mushrooms. With its mind-bending mix of Gothic and Art Nouveau styles, towering spindly spires, and facade covered in elaborate stone carvings and sculptures. La Sagrada Familia is like a bizarre alien planet landed right in the heart of Barcelona's Eixample district. This whimsical masterpiece was the obsessive life's work of legendary Catalan architect Antoni Gaudí. Construction began way back in 1882, based on Gaudí's radical vision that blended elements of nature and religion into an avant-garde architectural marvel. From the Nativity facade depicting the birth of Jesus to the Passion facade portraying his crucifixion, every inch is adorned with symbolic sculptures and mind-melting details. Gaudí was so consumed by this project that he lived like a hermit on site for over 15 years. No wonder it's been under construction for nearly 140 years. Step inside to be utterly awestruck by the kaleidoscopic stained glass, branching pillars resembling trees, and cavernous vaulted ceilings creating a forest-like atmosphere. Get ready to be utterly awed by one of the most recognizable landmarks on the planet, the one and only Statue of Liberty. This towering lady has been welcoming immigrants and tourists to New York Harbor since 1886. At a staggering 151 feet tall, the Statue of Liberty was a joint effort between America and France to celebrate the two nations' friendship and shared love of liberty. Designed by French sculptor Frédéric-Auguste Bartholdi, with an internal structural framework built by Gustave Eiffel, she's essentially a 225-ton hollow copper queen. The statue was a centennial gift from France to the United States, proposed by French historian Édouard de Laboulaye to commemorate the lasting alliance forged during the American Revolution. It took Bartholdi over 20 years to design and construct this neoclassical colossus. Climb 354 steps for breathtaking panoramic views from Lady Liberty's crown. Just don't look down if you're afraid of heights. That signature green patina coating was actually caused by over 30 years of oxidation and weathering of the copper exterior. So really, she's just a very classy 225-ton garden ornament. Learn about the 12 million immigrants who passed through these doors between 1892 and 1954 in hopes of pursuing the American dream. Get ready to be utterly mesmerized by one of the most beautiful and impressive mosques on the entire planet, the Sultan Ahmed Mosque, better known as the Blue Mosque. This stunning Ottoman imperial masterpiece will have you wondering if you've somehow been transported to a brilliant azure dreamland. With its unique 6 minarets and a breathtaking interior covered in over 20,000 handmade Iznik tiles, it's no wonder this 17th-century mosque is considered the crowning jewel of Islamic architecture in Istanbul. Commissioned by Sultan Ahmed I in 1609, this architectural marvel took over 7 years and the labor of thousands to construct. Its design was so ambitious that it caused an uproar by having more minarets than the Grand Mosque in Mecca. Step inside to be utterly dazzled by the vast central prayer hall's soaring domes, stained glass windows, and those iconic blue as Nick tiles covering every inch. This serene outer courtyard ringed by ornate, arched galleries and towering minarets is an oasis of tranquility in bustling Istanbul. Come early to avoid crowds and cover up respectfully. Admission is free, but you'll need to remove shoes and women must cover hair. The mosque is closed during prayer times. Legend says that the mosque's decorative tiles were made using a special technique where quartz was added to the glaze, giving them their distinctive blue hue that never fades. Get ready to have your mind blown by one of the most enigmatic archaeological wonders on the planet, the gigantic stone Moai heads of Easter Island. This remote Pacific island may be tiny, but its ancient stone sculptures are absolutely colossal. Scattered around the island's windswept landscapes, these haunting Moai monoliths have been baffling scientists and visitors alike for centuries with their sheer scale and mysterious origins. Each one was painstakingly carved from volcanic rock and measures up to 33 feet tall and 82 tons. Now that's one massive case of petrified brain freeze. These stone giants were carved by the Rapa Nui people between the 13th and 16th centuries, with the largest ones taking a staggering 50 to 100 years to complete using just primitive tools. Their brooding faces were designed to honor ancestors and powerful leaders. Reino Ruraka Quarry. This was the main factory where the Moai were chiseled from the volcanic rock. Over 600 incomplete statues remain here, including some massive 70-ton hunks. From ancient marvels to architectural feats, we've journeyed far beyond the typical highlights. These underrated human achievements prove there's wonder to be found everywhere. So next time you're wandering the globe, veer off the beaten path. The world's full of astounding hidden gems waiting to be uncovered and admired.